This video will concern itself with the role of marketing. Now, the term marketing is broadly used to describe marketing as a philosophy and a function of business. By philosophy here we mean that it's got its own literature, it's got its own way of going about and thinking about business problems and how it develops an idea about how the market views a product, how to position the product in the market, how to satisfy customers' wants, their desires to have the product, and how therefore it enables the business to continue, to make a profit and to continue. And it is a symbiosis of looking at the desires of the business and the desires of the customers. It's a coming together of the two parts. The customers want the product, it satisfies their needs, and the business want to sell the product because it enables them to continue in business. And that's what the body of literature does. It discusses those type of issues. But it's also a function of business. It's a practical function within business. It's important that businesses engage in marketing to secure their future, to secure sales, to secure profitability. Because through sales, which is one side of the profitability equation, costs being the other, through sales they're able to sustain themselves, they're able to grow, prosper, create employment, pay dividends, invest, and at the same time supply customers' needs. Customers want the product. From a philosophical viewpoint, marketing is an attitude adopted by an organization, a way of thinking which puts marketing in the center of all business activity. So it sees marketing as an important function within business. It's marketing that look at the business, look at the product, look at the customers for the product. It looks at all aspects of the business in trying to satisfy customers' needs, trying to get the pricing right, trying to get the location right, trying to get the promotion right. So it's a big task, and that's why marketing enjoys such a favorable position in business studies and in management studies. It's an important part of running the business to enable the business to survive. As a function, marketing involves a range of activities, roles and responsibilities within the marketing department. It's the marketing function to ensure that the product satisfies customers' needs. It's the function of the marketing department, therefore, to find out what customers' needs are and communicate that back to the business so the product may be amended and adjusted in accordance with the desires of the customer. So it's a much more practical approach as well. It's one which deals with the survival of the business in terms of sales, but it does this by ascertaining what the consumer wants truly are and then trying to persuade the management to alter the product or alter its practices in a way that will enhance the image of the business in the marketplace and enable sales to take place. Many organizations have a marketing department which is the marketing department is responsible for the following. And I'm going to give a list of these, and this will really take us through the rest of the class, the rest of this video. So we'll start with, surprisingly enough, we'll start with number 1. Marketing planning. Planning for future growth and ensuring market objectives, and there's a focus on organization objectives. So it's trying to get the marketing objectives and the organizational objectives aligned. So if If they can't be truly aligned, then the marketing objectives must try to line up with the organizational objectives. Because after all, the marketing department works within that organization. So it's important that they align with the organizations. But in an ideal world, the two should coincide. The objectives should coincide. So they're planning for growth and ensuring the objectives are aligned. Now the objectives may be sustainability, a good reputation in the marketplace, competitive pricing, good quality workmanship. All of these will be marketing objectives, and they should also be organizational objectives. But sometimes organizations will want to place more emphasis on something rather than something else, and there may be variations. But marketing planning is trying to look into the future growth of the organization and trying to move the organization into a position where it can gain future strength in the marketplace. Now the place, well, selecting the right distribution channels and agencies. Distribution channels, simply how is the product got to market? How is it delivered in the market? Is it delivered through retailers, wholesalers? Is it sold directly? Is it sold via the internet? How is it distributed? What are the distribution channels? And what agencies are involved other than the company itself? What agencies are employed? Are intermediaries, for example, retailers and wholesalers involved? Is it direct selling to the public? So it's important that the marketing department understands the implications of each and selects the appropriate one for that product and that market. Customer service support after sales services, ensuring the sales team deal with customer queries appropriately. It's important that the company enjoys a good reputation in the marketplace. It's also very important that going with that the customers have a contact point with the organization in the event of something going wrong with the product. Some products may be expensive, maybe an expensive piece of electrical equipment, for example, and the customers may want to contact the business to seek advice or seek some sort of remedial measure, some sort of fix for the problem. And the easier with which they're able to do that, the better the reputation of the business. Branding is also an issue dealt with by the marketing department. Product branding and strategy development. If the product has a good reputation in the marketplace, it may brand the name. The company's name may be seen as reliable, a good company to deal with, and therefore the company may be able to successfully introduce a new product to the market quite easily. Simply, customers recognize the name, it's branded, it's a branded name, they recognize the name and they have confidence in the new product. So branding is important, and that's a part of the function of the marketing department, to try and get the products branded so that they stand out in the market, they are seen as unique, high quality, good products, desirable products to possess. Relationship marketing, well, maintaining positive relationships with customers and clients. Trying to get to know the clients, trying to figure out what is important to them, talking to them, and building up a relationship with them so that they're informed about the product. This may be as simple as collecting their email address and getting permission to notify them via email of any changes to the product or to new products that the company is proposing to bring out. It may be as simple as that, but it's building a relationship with the customers. Product development. Well, developing new products in line with customer needs and wants. Again, the marketing department is in almost a unique position here because they know the market, they know the customers, they know what the customers want, they know what the competitors have got, they know what attributes of the product perhaps owned by the competitors that the customers like. So in a sense they're able to almost cherry pick the desirable parts of the various products on the market and help to develop a new product which incorporates what the customers like, what they want. So they're able to get involved with product development in an advisory sense, recommending what they think will be successful in the marketplace. Market research, continually researching new markets and customer demands. This is a very important aspect of the marketing department, trying to conduct surveys and questionnaires and try to find out what the customers truly want, what they want and how much they're willing to pay and what they see as desirable. And it may be that the customers want an ethically sustainable product, one which doesn't damage the environment. It may be that they want one cheaper. It may be that they want one with certain functionality. But this is all communicated back via market research, which may be conducted in a whole variety of ways, and this is the subject matter of several videos on the course. Sales forecasting. Well, analysing annual sales and forecasting future growth. Well, it's quite acceptable to look back on trends and see which way the trend was moving. That's sometimes known as interpolating, looking at what happened in the past. But extrapolating means going forward. And of course the future is very difficult to predict. There are so many events and issues that may thwart any projection. It may cancel out any projection. There are so many things that can happen. One famous economist, Friedrich von Hayek, once said that the future is unknowable. We can't know the future. You have to make guesses about it. That being the case, it falls to the marketing department to make the guesses. They try to be informed guesses by talking to customers and finding out what the customers want and their desires and what they think. But at the end of the day, it still is a guess, or as American colleagues will call it, guesstimates. It's a guess with an estimate. Financing. Well, the marketing department must allocate budgets for marketing activities. There must be the resources in the marketing department must be apportioned correctly, and it falls to the marketing manager to have accurate budgets which will take them across the accounting period, so that they don't have a rush of activity in the first couple of months and then the budgets are exhausted and they do nothing for the rest of the year. So they need to pace themselves and have budgets which stretch out over the accounting period until the new round and the new budget becomes available. Pricing. Well, developing the product pricing structure is very important. How much will the product be in the market? This is a crucial question for the organization. In setting the price, of course, they must recognize what competitors are charging for similar products. But they must also look at their costs and how much it took to produce the item. Look at the markups and see if they can generate a profit. Do they anticipate sufficient sales volume with that markup to generate the profit that they desire? So setting the price is a particularly complicated process and a very important one for the business. Promotion. Well, adopting a range of promotion techniques to encourage sales, which could be advertising. It could be advertising in newspapers or magazines, on the radio, on television, through the internet, billboards by the side of the road. It could be marketing by sponsorship, by sponsoring key events. It can happen in so many ways. But it's for the marketing department to decide which one is most effective in the context of the business and the product that they are working for. So it's deciding on what is the best form of promotion. That is the issue. Now, marketing is an important function within an organization as it is linked to sales and profitability. Without marketing, there would not be perhaps successful sales. Organizations tend to have marketing departments to promote their interest in the marketplace, which will generate sales. Generate sales generates revenue. Revenue minus cost is profit. So it's that important. It's crucial that the organization generates sufficient revenue to sustain itself and perhaps to grow. But certainly it should honour its commitments in terms of its bills and perhaps some return to the owners of the business, the people who initially invested in the business and took the initial risk. Effective marketing requires a change in attitude. The organization must put marketing at the center of all business activities. Well, the marketing department, who presumably knows the market, knows the customers within the market, and get feedback from the customers, they're ideally positioned for new product development, for making recommendations and suggestions, for discussing prices and what should be charged for the product, the design of the product, the durability, the aftercare service. The marketing department is quite an important department within any organization, and the rest of the departments ideally should listen carefully to what the marketing department has to say, because they are the ones who have their finger on the pulse. They are the ones who are listening to the customers. A marketing department will consist of a marketing team, including managers, and therefore they will adopt management functions. So a marketing department normally has a marketing director or a marketing manager, and under that person there will be a team. The team will be worked out according to their particular function, what they're doing. Some may be working on customer feedback or conducting surveys. Others may be looking at after-sales service. Others may be looking at competitors and seeing what the competitors are doing and conducting some research in that area, and so on. And all of this comes together in terms of the contribution that the marketing department makes for the organization decision-making process. Without the marketing department, that decision-making process will be inadequate. It will not have sufficient detail, it won't have sufficient research, and therefore its recommendations will be much more speculative than if it takes into account the recommendations of the marketing department. The role of marketing, well, the process of marketing management is typically the same as other functional department managers. The analysis, the use of marketing research information to make marketing decisions such as customers, competitors, market trends, changes in the marketing environment, a SWOT analysis, a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats analysis. So that will be something that the marketing department will do on a continuous basis. They will continuously analyze market information They will try to collect their own market information in a primary sense, collecting it directly themselves. They will also try to look at secondary information, published information, perhaps published by research institutes or by the government. They will look at whatever is available to try to help them to get a fix, trying to get a picture of what's happening in the marketplace that is relevant to their product and their organization. They will certainly look at competitors. They'll look at the consumers and look at their disposable income. They will look at the price that the competitors are charging and how much they're selling. They'll look at the products that are produced and put on the market that will be in competition with theirs. They'll look at their attributes, their qualities, their durability, their aftercare service and so on, and they will try to beat that. So that's all based on the analysis. Planning is also very important. Marketing planning process, setting long-term marketing objectives, strategic planning, developing a marketing program with target research selection and marketing techniques. Planning is crucial because planning gives the roadmap. It tells the organization the direction in which it should be traveling. So it's not just moving along haphazardly from day to day. It's moving in a deliberate and planned way forward. And the marketing department are uniquely placed to contribute towards the corporate plan, but the marketing department themselves will have their own marketing plan, which will look at the market in which they operate, the attributes of the market, and looking for ways in which they can, in a sense, outcompete the competitors. So planning is very important. It gives a sense of direction to the whole organization. But the planning can be the marketing department planning what it's going to do next and what information it wants and how it's going to put it together and what insights they're getting and what analysis they need to do based on what they're taking back. It's the whole planning framework. But they're also perhaps contributing towards the corporate plan, which gives the organization an indication of where it's going. Implementation, ensuring plans are put into action. Allocating resources and staff, budgeting, and all activities which successfully meet objectives. So it's not just good enough to have plans, but the plans must be implemented. They can't be just written on paper and left. So they're implemented and they're carefully thought out and implemented. They may be slowly implemented, just testing the waters, or they may be pushed out in a blaze, pushed out all at once, and quite a big promotion made about the product and about the company. Generally speaking, the emphasis on quality that the marketing department may feed back to the organization is more long-term. The customers learn that the organization is committed to quality, the product is a good standard, and reputation develops within the marketplace. Of course, supported by the marketing department through its campaigns and its advertising and so on. But eventually the customers will come to trust the organization. But that's one way in which it's implemented. The plans are implemented. It's not just having a commitment to quality and not telling anybody about it. It's having the commitment to quality, delivering on the quality, but also communicating that within the market, so that the plans that they have got are, in a sense, implemented through communications. Communications with the market and communications within the organization, so that everyone within the organization knows the road they're traveling and what the objectives are. Control, well, monitoring and measuring against targets. Marketing control, careful analysis and interpretation of outcomes, assessment of effective marketing planning. So it's controlling how the organization is developing, controlling the pace at which it's developing. We live in a world which is changing very rapidly, but sometimes, depending on the product may not need to be changed very dramatically. It's perhaps a more traditional product, but it will change perhaps slowly over time, but the pace of change must reflect what the marketing department are picking up in conversations and in meeting the customers. If it's something which is technological they're producing, then the pace of change may be quite rapid. But all of this is fed back into the organization, who will have to assess its practicality, if it can be done in the time scale, how much it will cost, what new investment will be needed. But that's the market in which the company finds itself. And it's better to know what's happening amongst the customers, what's happening in the market, than not to know. Not to know means they are cut adrift. They are just surviving almost by luck. So it's better to know what's happening and to plan for it and have strategies to deal with it and deliver on those, but also to control them, to control the pace, control expenditure on marketing, control the way in which it's done, so it's not too fanciful or too expensive. Sometimes word of mouth may be the best form of communication, whereas perhaps some members of the marketing team might want glossy advertisements in expensive magazines. So controlling is important, and these are the issues that are dealt with by the marketing department. So having gone through that, I think now we have a better insight into the role of marketing and also the importance of marketing within organizations. But that's all we're going to deal with in this video, so let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.